Hey, and welcome back to the channel. If you just watched the install of the clutch, I'm recording this the same day. That's why I look drenched in sweat and wearing the same clothes. Today I'm going to be installing the LED headlight as well as the LED taillight and the AC to DC converter. So it has been over 100 degrees inside the garage the last few times I've been recording. So this evening I have the garage door open. There is a rainstorm, so it might get a little loud, but if that's the problem, then I will just close the garage door, deal with the heat. So if you're hearing noise in the background, that is why. The install right now, we have our LED headlight, our LED tail light, and then the converter. To install the headlight, first I need to unscrew this screw right here. There is another one down here below. There's one up here, and then one down here. It looks like there is a bolt here. However, that is just to adjust the tilt of the headlight assembly, so you don't need to worry about that one right there. To install the tail light, down here there is a lock. You're going to use your key. Turn that. That will release the seat. You'll take that off. Then down here, you simply need to twist, pull out, and there is your tail light. To take out the old tail light, I'm going to do this holding my camera from my waist like this. Hopefully it works out fine. Normally I try to avoid touching the light bulb just because the grease on your hands isn't great for it, but in this case I'm not going to reuse it, so it's fine. All you need to do is push in, turn counterclockwise, and then it will release itself. I'm going to set that bulb down in there. Then I have the new LED one. I need to line up the holes like that. Again, push in, turn counterclockwise. There we go. The next thing you need to do is just fish it back in that hole. Turn, and once it's turned all the way, then it's locked. Let me grab the tripod, that way I can get the front one taken care of. To remove the headlight assembly, again, there's 2 screws on each side. So let's get those removed. I need to remember there are 2 different types. So I have the dome type, that's the bottom, and the flat type, that's the top. After you've removed the screws, you just pop out the headlight. There is a small latch at the top right here. And then you remove the wiring. Unfortunately, the noise from the rain was getting a little too loud, so I had to close the garage door. So now it is very warm, but we are now going to install the LED headlight. In order to do that, first we need to remove this rubber covering. I am going to place down some paper towel, that way I don't scratch the headlight. This part right here absolutely stinks. There is a little wire right here. This wire is kept down by tension. So there is a piece that slides into this little divot right here. Then it pushes down, goes back up, and it is held by tension just on the edge of this screw. And that is how the headlight stays in, which I think is a design flaw, but it is what it is. So you need to carefully unscrew that screw. Do not lose it. Set down your wire, remove it, then you take your new headlight, install it just like that. So again, there is a little divot that you can kind of see right there, that little hook. That is what you will insert into that area. Then with the rest of this, you'll press, give it some tension, take your screw, It does not need to be all the way down, it just needs to be down enough so that the tension from the screw is keeping everything in place. You're then going to take the rubber cover, slide it over, just like that. Now that the cover is over, the assembly is ready to be reinstalled. You're just going to take your wiring harness, simply plug it in, and then you will slip in the headlight assembly, just like that. Take our screws. Remember, flat one goes on top. The domed ones will go on the bottom. Now that the LED headlight and the LED taillight are installed, I need to remove this whole side paneling. That way I can install the wiring harness. In order to do that, there are 2 screws right along the lip in here. There's 1 screw right here, 2, 3, 4. There's 1 right here on top. There's 1 right here. And then I also think there's 1 inside the gas bay. There's 1 back here. And I believe that is it. There's a lot of screws to get the side paneling off, but let's get going. Because those screws are hard to get to, I am also likely going to be using this wrench in addition to this screwdriver to get those out. That way I can fit into small spaces. I am going to try to use the electric screwdriver in the places that I can reach to save time, because it's hot out here, like I keep saying. In order to get to all these screws under here, I do need to remove the storage compartment. There is a 10mm socket and then a 12mm socket that need to come out. For the storage compartment, there is also a 10mm socket on the other side. And just like that, the storage compartment comes out. So I have all these screws pulled out. There is 1 plastic clip that's down here at the very bottom, so you might need a screwdriver or pliers to get that plastic clip out. But now all the screws are out, so I just need to pop the side paneling off. There is a clip, plastic clip on the back end somewhere in here, so you do need to pop that out as well. I did not know this before, but apparently you do need to remove the entire gas cover because there is a lip right there as well as a screw that's underneath it right here. So I'm gonna have to remove that all as well. To remove the gas cover, there's just 2 screws at the back, 2 screws inside, and then 2 screws in the front. So it is not a screw, but it is a plastic clip that's on the inside right here. Just like that, the plastic cover is removed. Unfortunately, the paint is starting to chip, but I might later on try to wrap my plastic fenders. I originally had the red Honda Navi variant, but I then spray painted it orange. I did a few layers of orange, some bronze, orange, and then a clear coat. That's why it looks a little more smooth. Although it is now dusty, dirty, and gross, I think it's time to wrap or paint it again. To install the new fuse, there's a plastic cover right here. We're gonna bring that down just a little bit. There's a clip right here. That black clip we'll need to remove. If it does not want to budge, you can take a screwdriver. There's a bit of a lip. Try turning it. And I'll get that out. And we want to turn the plastic cover inside out. That way we have a little more room to work with. The brown wire is the one that we want to remove. If you look inside here, there is a small clip. You want to use a very small screwdriver, put it inside there and push it out. All right, I got that brown wire out now. I accidentally bent it, so I'm gonna use this screwdriver just to bend it back into shape. There we go. The next thing you need to do, take that black wire box, plug it back in. The brown cord you are going to connect to your new fuse. I'm gonna clamp them a bit, and I'm gonna use some electrical tape. That was a terrible tape job. I'm going to super tape this up because I want no risks of it coming undone, mainly because getting in here is a huge pain to get to this fuse box right here. Now that it's taped, I'm gonna use a few zip ties as well. Now, in order to get to the fuse box, I need to remove this top piece of plastic right here. All right, so down here, I now have that wired. I'm gonna roll up the plastic cover in a little bit, but first, up here, we have a fuse box. In this fuse box, there is two 10s and then a 7.5. The 7.5 is gonna be way at this end. I took that one out. That's this right here. We have our 7.5. That 7.5 is going to get plugged in to the extra slot on this new wire. So now I have the new wiring harness with the 7.5 inside it. That is going to go where the 7.5 was. So again, we had 10, 10, 7.5. Took the 7.5 fuse out, plugged it into the wiring harness. There was an extra slot. Now I'm going to take this whole thing, plug it in to where that 7.5 was. We want to make sure it is in all the way, just like that. Moment of truth. The LED headlight works and our LED tail light works. All right, so I have the LED headlights installed as well as the wiring harness. It works. Now I need to zip tie this so it's out of the way and tape it a little bit and then get this whole thing put back together. I'm going to speed this up for you though. That is how you install a LED headlight, taillight, and converter into your Honda Navi. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and until next time, have a great rest of your day.